Today, we're looking at two burning questions. Why do car makers over-engineer their cars with top speeds that exceed the speed limit? Are they trying to encourage us to break the law? It was all over the news. Several weeks ago, a 2022 Bentley Flying Spur really went flying. The driver and his wife were riding in their Bentley on their way to a KISS concert in Toronto. Sadly, they never made it to the concert. Now, on their way to Toronto, their vehicle sped toward a bridge at lightning speed, hit a median, and went flying. On impact, the vehicle burst into flames and shattered into pieces in a devastating explosion. Really, really tragic. At the time of the fatal crash, there was no specific reason given as to the cause of the explosion. But speculation began to swirl that a mechanical problem may have caused the car to accelerate out of control. Regardless of the cause, if the Bentley wasn't speeding as it was, or rather, say it couldn't speed the way that it did, who knows? Maybe the crash likely wouldn't have ended as horrifically as it did, going at a much slower speed. And that's the thing. The 2022 Bentley Flying Spur can go from 0 to 60 miles an hour in 3.9 seconds flat. The 2022 Flying Spur came with an 8-speed dual-clutch automatic transmission, all-wheel drive, and a powerful twin-turbocharged engine. And I'm talking about a 542-horsepower V8 engine, which came standard, making the machine weigh some 5,137 pounds. Plus, you had the option to upgrade to a jaw-dropping 626-horsepower W12 engine. We're talking a really powerful beast of a car here. Interestingly, the same model was recalled in 2021 due to a risk of accelerator pedals being stuck in some vehicles. But apparently, this impacted only right-hand drive Bentleys, whereas the Bentley in the recent crash was left-hand drive. So evidently, the recent crash was unrelated to this recall. Here's a shocking fact you may not know. Fatal crashes increased 27% in the last 10 years, and of those, 29% were due to speeding. So you can't help but wonder, why do car makers over-engineer their cars to exceed the speed limit, and even double or triple it, if we can't legally drive the car's top speed on American roads anyway? Why do they bother enabling their cars this way? There are many reasons car makers justify it. High-end brands like Ferrari and Maserati push their top speeds for their vehicles because if their cars were given the chance, they could technically perform on the racetrack. Well, that's fine on the racetrack, but the thing is, our roads aren't racetracks, plain and simple. It doesn't matter how much you fantasize about it. Most American drivers are nowhere near the professional racing level with years of experience. The fact remains that the more you speed, the higher you risk getting into a fatal and avoidable accident. Now, don't get me wrong, there are some limited situations where speeding truly may be warranted. Think of a life or death situation. Your wife goes into labor or your friend has a heart attack, but if you're in a remote area with no ambulance in sight, and it's up to you to get your friend or family member to ER as fast as possible without colliding into anyone else or wrecking a car, killing yourself and everyone in it. Car makers also say they over-engineer their cars with the ability to reach high top speeds because it improves the car's overall reliability. Just think, when a car is designed with the capability to drive smoothly at speeds up to 120 miles an hour, then taking it past 65 is a breeze, and that translates to less strain on the engine. On top of that, when a car's transmission is designed for faster speeds, that can help reduce the amount of gas a car will consume at lower speeds. Turning a larger gear is no small feat for a car. It takes a considerable amount of energy. A car can turn large gears more efficiently if it's designed to handle higher speeds. Faster cars also enhance their overall performance. A more powerful engine inside your car means improvements across various performance elements. In most cases, a higher top speed means faster acceleration time, and the faster your car can accelerate usually translates into driving dynamic improvements like improved cornering abilities. And of course, there's yet another justification for top speeds that exceed posted limits. The short answer is that the faster the car, the more money consumers are willing to pay for it. Sure, you'll never be able to legally drive over 70 miles an hour on an average U.S. road, but that doesn't stop car makers from manufacturing cars with so much engine power that they require an 8-speed transmission. Even if many drivers don't actually speed, some love the idea that they can speed if they want to. I'm talking about consumers who like to be in control and who enjoy the freedom of choice. Car marketers know that the higher a car's top speed, the more consumers the vehicle can attract. That's why, even though there's no chance you'll ever reach 140 miles an hour in your minivan, its speedometer can still reach that high. That leads to another question. Why are we fascinated with speed? In some ways, speeding is a part of modern culture. Everyone has places to be, people to see, and they want to get everything done as fast as they can. In our modern world, we're used to and expect instant gratification. It's a first world problem. Some people are desensitized to speeding, and it's an unquestioned habit for them. When it comes to the love of speeding, multiple studies have shown that younger drivers, and specifically male drivers, are more likely to speed compared to female drivers. No real surprise there. Sure, a person may speed because he is running late, but oftentimes chances are he's speeding because he wasn't paying attention to the speed, or he felt he was under pressure to speed from others, or he's simply seeking a thrill or a rush. According to one study, around 73% of drivers think they drive better than the average person. Yes, we all live in a fantasy world, that's for sure. We all see dumb drivers on the road, and maybe we're all in the 73% who think we drive better than we actually do. Anyway, many in the group are confident drivers feel that speed limit shouldn't apply to them, just everyone else. But look, your confidence that you're a better driver doesn't mean that you really are one. There's also the folly of getting too comfortable. The more familiar a road is to you, the higher chance you may speed down that road. That's where the problem starts. If you're whizzing down an unexpected cyclist or pedestrian pops out of nowhere, you may be speeding too fast to stop your car before devastating consequences. The marketing industry isn't helping to quell our need for speed either. In fact, it's the complete opposite. We're inundated with commercials that showcase cars shooting across highways, soaring down country roads, or zooming down beaches in speeds that don't look anywhere near the legal speed limit. And sometimes they're even flying through the air. Consumers forget that commercials are meant to show off a vehicle's power and capabilities. Rather, we aspire to get behind the wheel of fast cars, dreaming of freedom. Let's talk about Texas, where everything's bigger. There's a particular highway where drivers can drive up to 85 miles an hour. It's literally the fastest highway in America. No surprise, it's also the deadliest. Get this. A TV station discovered that Texas could have opened the toll road at a normal speed if it wanted to. But instead, the Texas Department of Transportation decided to take advantage of a $100 million payment that the private toll road company promised in exchange for an 85-mile-an-hour speed limit on that road. The thinking was to use an unusually high speed limit to draw more drivers to use the toll road, which would increase toll revenue. Details of the $100 million payment were buried deeply in a lengthy contract, signed years way before the highway was even open. Basically, the Texas Department of Transportation went rogue and did its own thing in signing these private contracts, and money was the prime motivator. Recently, there was yet another multi-vehicle fatal crash on the highway, and now local residents are asking for changes to the highway. Anyway, it doesn't look like car makers will reduce top speeds for their cars anytime soon. Ever hear of a speed limiter or speed governor? Basically, it's a speed limiter or controller that uses the engine's computer and electronic sensors to measure and limit a vehicle's speed. But here's the thing. The ones in passenger cars are typically set really high. Some only kick in 155 miles an hour, which is insanely over the average speed limit. Volvo recently announced it would lower the car's top speeds to 112 miles an hour, which is better than 155, but it's still in the triple digits. Speed limiters have been used by commercial fleets for years. Not long ago, in 2022, the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration announced its intention to mandate speed limits on large trucks. There's also intelligent speed assist technologies known as ISA. There are different types of ISA, but basically the system issues a warning to the driver at minimum, and some systems can force the car to slow down if the car exceeds the speed limit for too long. In the US, some cars are equipped with advisory ISA. And the systems that include speed warnings allow the driver to choose how many miles over the speed limit they can go before an alert is issued. Of course, the driver can turn the features off if he wants. Other types of ISA actively prevent the driver from speeding, and it does it by providing resistance from the accelerator pedal or limiting power to the engine. But this type of ISA is rare in the US as it stands today. In Europe, starting in 2024, all new cars must come with ISA. But at the moment, there's no mandate here in the States, although in 2023, the National Transportation Safety Board recommended that NHTSA require ISA on all new passenger cars. At the moment, there's no regulation here in the States that mandates this feature. But, interestingly, the Department of Transportation did make a recommendation for it and asked the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration to mandate it. But, at least as of now, nothing is set in stone yet. Not many people know this, but speeding is the cause behind at least 29% of all fatal crashes on U.S. roads. The moral of the story is just because your vehicle can reach top speeds doesn't mean you should. You see, the thing that makes speeding so dangerous is that the faster you drive, the faster your reflexes need to be to avoid a collision or slow down. But the reality is, even if you were to consistently keep your eyes on the road, there are moments when our thoughts drift, or our attention gets distracted, and or our reactions simply aren't always quick enough. On top of that, The higher your speed, the longer it'll take your car to slow down and come to a complete stop. If you're driving at 80 miles an hour, it takes almost twice as long to stop your speeding vehicle than if you were traveling at 60 miles an hour. And that's if you're driving a passenger car. On the other hand, if you're driving a large SUV or truck, you also have a heavier vehicle. It takes way longer for a large, heavy vehicle that's speeding on the highway to slow down and come to a complete stop. Anyway, at the end of the day, it's the driver's responsibility to use discretion, caution, and good judgment. If all drivers took things more seriously, we'd see less fatalities. Really, it's up to us individually because we're talking about human lives here. But now you tell me, how do you feel about car makers over-engineering cars that can super exceed the normal speed limit? Please share by commenting below. If you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for your support.